So apparently you can go to the doctor and get Botox for starting at $700 to have your nipples appear perkier and project a certain
So to show through
aesthetic when you're walking down the street.
So to show
a la what, a Kendall Jenner, a Jennifer Aniston, and other celebrities have done over the past years.
Okay, this is what I don't get. Right? You're getting these injections. We're looking.
Right. Do we get in trouble for looking?
Yes.
Yeah, but
stop looking at me, you pervert. Like wait, what?
Yeah, that is a weird. So if you
I got it for me. That's the claim.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's confusing.
It's the black see-through tights and no panties, and then we look because they're bending over, but we're the perverts.
Time out. Why was that story so specific?
Because if you go to the gym,
it was so specific.
If you go to the gym, then you know.
Oh, that's your creep days?
No, yeah, you know what's going on, but then you're the pervert because you're looking. But come on, just throw the sweater over it like every normal.
He's like, she had the black Lululemon tights on with no panties on. It was like, yo.
It's a no-win situation.
No win.
Yeah, because if she tells you that she had her nipples worked on, do you say, oh, they look great? What do you can't
I would say
win.
no. I would advise against that.
Yeah, just stay away completely.
Depends on who you are.
Welcome to Out of Bounds. I'm Pierce Simpson. Thank you for joining us on today's episode. Of course, we're going to preview the NBA playoffs that is set to begin this weekend. But before we get into all of that, I'm joined here by Complex sports editor and resident doctor, and I guess from the cold open, designer nipple expert, Mr. Adam Caparel. Hey, expert. He brought the story to us.
The New York Post.
You're going to blame the
tabloid of record is the ones informing us.
Okay, we'll see about that. Next, Adam Caparel is Mr. Gilbert Arenas.
We might need to get rid of his laptop.
Yeah, of course. Delete all the history.
It's the work laptop.
That's the work laptop. That makes it even worse.
I know.
Yikes. Yo, that is crazy. Fellas, did we watch the Denver Nuggets and Minnesota Timberwolves game last night, which was effectively a play-in game for the NBA playoffs? Minnesota Timberwolves will make their first playoff appearance since, I believe, 2003, 2004.
Yeah, we watched.
We watched?
It cost us money, but yeah, we watched.
You went against what I told you.
Yes.
You gave him advice and he
Yes.
Oh, how did you?
I told them Timberwolves is not going to lose at home.
Yeah, that's tough. Why'd you pick against
At
them?
home?
No, here's I got a lot of beefs, but I'm going to start with my biggest beef is the fact that in the final possession of the game, they didn't even get up a shot before the shot clock went, or before the game clock went off.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even get a backdoor cover. Like Paul Millsap put up the most weak-ass three-pointer attempt after the buzzer to not even allow me to backdoor cover. So I have a lot of gripes. I lost my season under bet on the Timberwolves and lost with the Nuggets +4 last night.
That's why you did it. Because you was basically trying to double down.
On
that 40,
this is a great intervention. Now, of course, that was the Western
You're trying to
Conference.
double down.
And we'll talk about how the Western Conference breaks down, but it was great to see a little preview of playoff basketball. But in the Eastern Conference, we have a lot of matchups beginning on Saturday. And some of the seeding that breaks down is we have the Toronto Raptors taking on the Washington Wizards, 1-8. The Boston Celtics, who are riddled with injuries, take on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Philadelphia 76ers, who won 50 games for the first time since 2001, 52 to be exact on the season, will take on the Miami Heat, and the Cleveland Cavaliers will take on the Indiana Pacers. We see yet another saga between LeBron James and Lance Stephenson. What could go wrong? In the season series between these teams that would take on the first round, the Raptors and Wizards are 2-2. Celtics and Bucks are 2-2. I said butts. Celtics and Bucks, excuse me. The 76ers and Heat are 2-2. And the Cavs, surprisingly, have lost 3 games to the Pacers and only winning 1 matchup. Out of all these teams in the Eastern Conference playoffs, which matchup is the most intriguing so far?
1-8.
1-8. The Raptors and Wizards.
Yeah.
For the hometown squad.
Yeah.
I think Washington knows how to play Toronto pretty well.
Because it's guard play.
Yeah.
And, you got 2 matchup guards.
That's a great point because I think in this series, in that particular matchup, you have Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan going up against John Wall and Bradley Beal.
But the Wizards have a little bit more than what the Raptors have. So, just like that, the 2 years ago, the 4-5 matchup, and Toronto gets swept.
Right.
This could be a 4-2 run.
So are you saying the guard play between those?
Whoever has the best guard play between the two of them. But the problem is.
But do you think they'll just wash each other out and it's left to?
No, it's not a washout because Wall is not a scoring guard. He's an assist guard, so his job is getting everybody else. But if he gets 20, he just elevates the team anyway.
Right.
Where Lowry is a scoring guard, so you're gonna to outplay John Wall with John Wall doing 17-9 and 17-10. Yeah. You're going to have to score 30. Yeah. Because he's giving you 30 points just from what he's doing. And then you're going to have Beal averaging 25 to 30. So it's.
Yeah, that's a very intriguing match.
Lots to sustain over a 7-game series, though.
Yeah.
Whizzes, baby. Whizzes, baby.
Cap, who are you watching for?
I would say my most intriguing matchup in the Eastern Conference in the first round has got to be Cavs-Pacers for the fact that the Cavs, again, went 1-3 against Indiana this season. And also, historically, LeBron has not played that well in Indiana.
Right.
So you have that scenario. You have the Lance Stephenson, who's going to be blowing in LeBron's ear for at least 4 to 5 games, which adds intrigue.
That's the problem.
What do you mean that's a problem?
Lance is going to piss him off?
Don't.
But it makes
don't poke the bear.
But it makes for intriguing drama.
Don't poke the bear. That's the problem. Like, Lance, we know what you have not actually won this matchup yet. Yeah. Blowing in the ear, you haven't. All you're doing is just poking this bear and making him growl. And when you do that, your team loses.
But he's doing us a favor then because we get to witness even more greatness out of LeBron.
You get to see the antics and stuff, but you're making him go because now, instead of him coasting, he's on full throttle the whole time because of you.
That makes sense.
And that's a disadvantage to you. Boston.
What do you mean?
Bucks and Celtics.
Smelling the Bucks making an upset?
I don't even consider it an upset at this point.
Yeah, because they're losing again. Kyrie Irving's out for the rest of the season.
The Celtics are going to be favored,
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, the series prices didn't come out yet, otherwise I'd have them right now, rip them off, but I think the Celtics are going to be favored.
I think Milwaukee is, like Steven Jackson said yesterday, they're easily one of the most talented teams from a roster standpoint in the league.
They're young and talented. I mean, if you're Boston, I mean, anybody who fell in that 7th spot, they were like, yes, we're going to the second round. So that means you look at a team like Philly, who plays against a 6th seed first and a 7th seed in the second round. So they basically skipped on through to the finals.
So I guess that answers the next question. Do you think so you would say Philadelphia has the easiest road to the conference finals?
Yeah, they got the easiest road because they play a 6th seed, and if they beat the 6th seed, they play a 7th seed.
And they also have the best value on the board for Eastern Conference.
I mean, but you got to remember this team. Remember 76ers. If they don't have Embiid, that might be a problem.
That's a huge problem, though.
That's a huge problem going against Miami.
Now, there's a lot of speculation of whether or not he'll be available for Game 1.
I'm pretty sure they're not even going to fuck around with the series.
Who? The Heat?
76ers.
Or the Sixers?
Oh, so you think it's going to be a sweep?
I'm thinking Embiid will be their Game 1. I don't think Philadelphia.
But do you think they can beat the Heat without Embiid over a 7-game series?
I think. You don't think so?
I think maybe they.
Because he's an inside-outside guy. You have to double, and it spreads the floor. And without him off the floor, it's going to be hard to play inside-outside against the Miami Heat.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Markelle Fultz is coming on strong for the Philadelphia 76ers, much stronger than I anticipated him coming on this late in the year with all the struggles he had throughout his rookie season. He's added another dimension to that squad, adding Joel Embiid, and like you said, the Sixers are going to be a formidable beast in the Eastern Conference. But to wrap this up, what's our prediction for the Eastern Conference? Who's coming out of the East to represent them in the NBA Finals? Cap, I'll start with you.
I mean, it's just boring, but how do you not see the Cavs coming out of the East?
Yeah, with LeBron James. Cavs?
Come on.
You've been saying it from the beginning.
I've been saying it from the get-go.
I got the Cavs as well.
I mean, there's no value on them. They're plus 130 right now to win the East, but it's like how the hell can you not pick the Cavs?
I think it's like you said before. How do you sustain that for a 7-game series? And we have yet to see a team, especially in the Eastern Conference, stop LeBron for 7 games.
Yeah.
That's just an impossible.
I mean, it's just impossible. I mean, that's what I said. No one in the East is that talented that can contain him, because we already know when he does get mad, that's a 40-point night, period.
And here's the crazy thing.
He's shown it over his career. No matter who the talent is, when he gets pissed off, 40.
Of the Eastern Conference teams, and I'm just looking at the rosters and the team names, the second best player in the Eastern Conference would be Giannis behind LeBron James?
That or Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
What about DeRozan?
And that's still a significant drop off.
Because DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like you got a Giannis, you got Joel Embiid. I mean, if you go value by who they are, like non-replaceable guys.
Yeah.
You got the Greek, you got Joel Embiid. You can find a two guard that can average 20.
The old adage in the NBA is if you have the best player in the series, you usually win the series. And I'm not sure that anybody in the Eastern Conference will have a better. Well,
that's what I said. When it comes,
I know nobody in the Eastern Conference will have a better player than LeBron. So,
all right.
I think the Cavs will be there.
Well, talking about a few superstars in the East, time to talk about one over in the West. Russell Westbrook last night became the first player in NBA history to average a triple-double for a second season. And as our co-host over here, Pierce just showed.
Hand wave.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a hand wave also.
All these triple doubles to lose in the first round? That's cute.
Whoa. Wait.
Yeah.
You're hand waving a triple double season?
I mean,
Did you see the way that they just cleared out the lane for him to grab rebounds last night? Listen, I said that we said this a couple weeks.
Wait a minute. You're trying to discredit.
I'm not trying.
The last game of the season that really don't have no bearing.
So how are you putting so much value on it then?
The value on his triple double.
Yeah.
Obviously, he needed only 16 rebounds. Only 16 rebounds at this point.
He got 10 in the first half.
Only 16 rebounds to complete his triple-double for what he did the whole 81 games.
Okay.
So that means at the end of the season, from what he did, he only needed 16. And you're going to hand wave it like he didn't earn this shit the whole year.
I'm not discounting.
Really?
I'm not discounting.
I just said the motherfucker needed 48, and he's out there like getting all 40.
We are not discrediting Russell Westbrook's greatness. He is an awesome player. Yeah. What we're discrediting and what we're kind of flaming and making fun of is the fact that literally the entire goddamn Thunder team clears out the lane half the time for Russell to grab these rebounds. And they have
the last 3 games, yes.
Which makes a mockery of this.
This is not a mock. You got to remember, this man averaged that damn near this whole year, and all he needed was 3 games of just this. As teammates, you're this close, yes. Just like if Booker was averaging when he had 72, and we're like, oh shit, he's this close to 80, 81. Let's just keep giving him the ball.
Yeah,
we didn't start the game off saying we're gonna let you score 81 points. You happen to do it, and we're just going to feed you the rest. So they
start the game off saying, Russell, we're going to give you every rebound.
But it's the last game of the season.
No,
it's the last game of the season.
It's been most of the season.
I see both sides. That's a fair point. It hasn't been a lot this season where they clear out the lane and let him go get rebounds. We see it time and time again on the free throw line where they kind of pivot. He just runs and get it. And like you said with Devin Booker, when he scored 70 against the Celtics, Earl Watson was like, I was fouling hoping it goes to overtime so we can get 80.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But he was already in that 60, 65 point where like, oh shit, he can do this shit. Like that's where like when David Robinson beat out Shaq the last game of the season for the scoring title because everyone just passing the ball so he can score 71. Yeah. All he needed 71 points. Let's do it for him.
But okay, go ahead, Cap.
No, I'm just all right. You're clearly on Westbrook's side. Pierce and I come differently. This is what Westbrook had to say about everything. If people could get 20 rebounds every night, they would. If people could get 15 rebounds, they would. People that's talking or saying whatever they need to say, they should try doing and see how hard it is. Since everybody wants to be talking, I'm tired of hearing the same old rebound this, stealing rebounds, all this shit. I take pride in what I do. And again, we're not denying his greatness at all. But when you see the highlights and you see the way that, literally Russ was snatching rebounds out of what should have been a Steven Adams rebound or a Paul George rebound.
You're judging the last game. You know what?
No,
Russell basically said
it happened throughout the entire season.
Russell said it. In my words, fuck you, you can't do what I do.
Absolutely.
And that's basically what he's saying. Fuck you, you can't do what I do. But think about what we're calling him a stat chaser on.
Hustle.
Rebounds, which means effort, which means hustling. This is not someone stat chasing on points. This is someone stat chasing on hustle. Like, I'm pretty sure the Lakers or Miami Heat, when Shaq was there, will have loved if Shaq padded his rebounding to at least 10. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure if anybody on my team can get 10 rebounds, my big man can get 10 rebounds, it makes the team better. Like, you guys are acting like what he's doing is hurting the chemistry of the team by him
I do have something where
Hustling?
I do have something where it may hurt, and I'm gonna get to that. But the reason we're seeing the more triple doubles from players across the league, even Markelle Fultz became the youngest player in NBA history to get a triple double. He got it last night in the final game of the season. The game's changed. There's more 3-point shots being put up. There's longer rebounds, so guards can get the rebound. So
it's positionless now.
Yeah.
So now your big men are not under the basket fighting and just rebounding there. They're sitting there boxing out, hitting threes, and the guards are just running
Which
in.
is another reason why I say that the triple-double importance and why people are going crazy over this is not that big a deal anymore.
So here's the thing. So they gave Russell Westbrook the MVP last season because he averaged a triple-double. The Thunder have about the same amount of win totals they had this year as they did last year. Mind you, they added two superstars to their squad this year with Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. Was James Harden robbed of a potential back-to-back MVP campaign because they gave the MVP to Russell Westbrook because he averaged a triple-double? If triple-doubles are
last year the triple-double, what he did was different. It's the first time. It's like the first time you do something. There's big emphasis.
But if you just voted for him simple off the mere fact of a triple-double, shouldn't you carry that same rule this year? Because that's what people are trying to vouch for now. They're like, if he won MVP last season because he averaged triple-double,
it's not because he averaged. It's not that. It's
because if you had that argument,
it's like somebody averaging 30 for the first time and you won MVP, averaging 30, your team won 50, and then you come back the very next season, average 30, and your team wins 50. You're expecting to win, and they're like, oh no, you did it. You needed to do better.
Right. Okay, so you're saying that he should.
His triple-double, like if his triple-double was whatever, like last year's triple-double was surpassing this triple-double.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. Like James Harden's game excelled from last year. Russell's declined a little bit due to the fact that he has better talent around him.
Yeah.
That's.
I think.
Like that's why this last game, it took him this long to get the average of triple-double, where last year he was averaging a triple-double the whole year.
I love Russell's personality, what he brings to the NBA. We have yet to see a player like him, but I do think his style of play is very corrosive to other teammates, and we've seen it.
What part of his game?
The fact that he wants to do everything. But you said it best. You said it too. It's like, because he wants to do everything, he limits the potential of other players on the court. That's why Paul George's game has been down. He's in his shooting slump. He's saying it's in his head, it's mechanical.
This sounds so backwards to what you're taught as an athlete.
What do you mean?
An athlete, you're taught to go out there and give it your all. Go and do everything you can possibly do on the floor. Mm-hmm. So now you're saying, all right, Russ, you're doing way too much. Bring it down.
Yeah.
So now he's like, all right, I'm just going to average 30 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Now what you say?
No, it's not that. It's
now what do you say?
But
if he goes there and say, all right, I'm going to do half of me.
But Gil, what do you say?
25 and 5. Let somebody else pass the ball around and drive in the lane and go there and get the hustle rebounds, and I'm going to just sit here and just look at you guys.
But Gil, when you're doing all that, right, and you have players that leave and go on to have tremendous success, maybe it's you that's causing the problem.
I'm playing to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Like this is like telling Kawhi Leonard, don't be a total shutdown defender. Let somebody else get some blocks and some steals.
That's what's up. Keeping things pushing in the Western Conference. Cap, we mentioned that you lost some money last night in the play-in game.
When doesn't?
Fake news.
In the play-in game between the Minnesota Timberwolves and Denver Nuggets. Timberwolves won in dramatic fashion, 112-106 in overtime, thus cementing the playoff format in the Western Conference. For this weekend, the Western Conference was competitive right down to the wire. The 1 versus 8 matchup is the Rockets versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Golden State Warriors will take on the San Antonio Spurs, who are a surprising 7th seed. The Portland Trail Blazers will take on New Orleans Pelicans without Boogie, but AD has been playing at MVP levels throughout the later stretch of the season. And the Oklahoma City Thunder would take on the Utah Jazz in a 4 and 5 matchup. The Rockets made a complete sweep of the Minnesota Timberwolves this season, beating them 4-0. The Warriors defeated the Spurs 3-1 this season. Blazers and Pelicans were tied 2-2, and the Thunder beat the Jazz 3 times, and the Jazz only won it 1 time during their matchup this season. With the playoff format set in the Western Conference, what is the most intriguing matchup? And we wanted to see the Oklahoma City Thunder be the 7th seed to potentially take on the Golden State Warriors in the first round. That did not happen, but Gil, what are you on?
Still the 2-7 seed.
Really, the Warriors and Spurs?
Because of
Kawhi.
because of what Spurs do, shrink the floor, and the fact that you don't have Curry to do pick and rolls and spread this defense out, and you're stuck with Iggy, Draymond Green, who doesn't shoot the ball. You have Zaza. You have JaVale McGee. You have who else is on there that really can't shoot the ball? Livingston.
Yeah.
You have dead spots that, Spurs will take advantage of. Yeah. And I think they're going to make this a half-court game, and Warriors don't have enough firepower to just blow past this team.
You think so?
You have KD, obviously, and they're gonna double KD. At this point, they're gonna double KD, knowing there's no Curry on this floor.
Right.
And the next person that's up is Klay Thompson, who can't create. He's a catch-and-shoot guy.
Yeah.
So you're going to make Draymond try to beat you by creating and scoring 30, 40 points, and I don't think he's capable of doing it.
Yeah, Draymond's had a very up and down season. Last year in the first round against Portland, he had an impressive series, particularly in Game 1. I believe that series alone helped him win Defensive Player of the Year. But like you said, he seems to be a different player this year. Cap, what are you eyeing? What's the most intriguing matchup in the Western Conference?
I mean, this is going to sound ridiculous to some people. I think the Eastern Conference first round series are much more intriguing and a little bit more drama filled than the West.
I completely agree.
All right, so then you completely agree with me. I kind of want to go Thunder Jazz. That seems to be the most obvious, but again, knowing that I like to fade the obvious pick, I'm going to go and swerve a little bit and say Blazers Pelicans, just for the sheer fact that you have Lillard and AD playing at levels that have been pretty absurd this year. They're probably going to finish the top 5 MVP. So those two guys who do very different skill sets and bring very different things to their team as leaders, blah, 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 all that stuff. Watching them go back and forth in what should be a very offensive-minded series, to me, is going to be fun to watch.
I think the Rockets and Timberwolves matchup would be much more intriguing than people are giving it credit for. I know the Rockets swept them this season. They smoked them, but one of those games, Jimmy Butler actually got hurt. It had to kill the team chemistry of that game. Another game, James Harden was going off. He was damn near shooting from half court. So I think the way that the Timberwolves will defend the Rockets.
Well, they defended all in the regular season.
I was going to say, no, hand wave that. Hand wave him.
I'm not saying that. Listen. I'm not saying they have
the Rockets scored at least 130 points every time they played the Wolves this year.
No, they're going to score points.
And that's the problem.
But Minnesota, I'm saying the defensive strategy. I'm not saying it will be executed, but the strategy that Thibodeau will put out there will be intriguing.
No, Thibodeau have the Bulls. This is not the Bulls. This is not his Bulls team. He
just got the corpses from those.
This is fucking Timberwolves. The Timberwolves. I mean, and they're gonna. I mean, you got a young athletic team.
Yeah.
That's the worst against the Rockets. You don't want to be athletic.
I'm curious about that. Why you say that?
Because athletes like to run and jump and try to be athletic. Well, that is perfect for James Harden and the Rockets.
Slow it down.
He's gonna use their athleticism against him. Like James wants to go all day here. He wants to just fuck around and play, and you just got these guys just.
Right.
You gotta shrink that floor on James and just make him average 20 assists.
You mentioned Blazers and Pelicans being something that you're keeping an eye on. Dame Lillard recently put up 41 points in a matchup against the Pelicans, and Anthony Davis has been going off tremendously. What player are you looking at in this Western Conference playoffs to really take the next step and become that true, genuine superstar in the league that nobody's paying attention to? Do you think it's Donovan Mitchell in Utah, who continues to wear the rookie sweatshirts and poking fun at Ben Simmons?
Nah, I mean, I think this series, because of Paul George is a great defensive player, he's gonna
struggle.
Crash to earth a little bit.
I mean,
not crash to earth, but at least
you got to remember he is their scorer, so he's gonna get the looks he needs to get. But he loses this matchup.
Does the presence of Rudy Gobert in the middle stop Russell Westbrook from doing his thing in the paint?
No.
Okay.
Because you can go small ball and get Rudy. I mean, you can get him out there, put Melo at the 4, and it's.
I won't give you a superstar, but I'll give you a bench/role player I think that could kind of have a breakout playoffs. Gerald Green from the Rockets.
Yeah.
So he's a guy, pop and shoot 3, had a very good, end of the stretch of the regular season. As long as D'Antoni doesn't kind of shrink his rotation too much. Right. Gerald Green's a guy that can easily give you 12 to 15, no problem. If he really goes off, everyone thinks of Eric Gordon as being the Rockets' 6th man and the guy that can really fill up the stat sheet. Yeah. But Gerald Green's not that far behind too.
Not at all.
I think I'm going to go with Lillard.
Lillard's been playing
because now I think he's just going to do what he's been doing,
and people going to pay attention.
But we're paying attention to him now.
Yeah.
And I think that's where. it's going to look like he's balling because we're seeing what he's always done. Like he's always averaged 27. He's always done this, and no one's paid attention to him. Now we get to see him.
It's like you said, he doesn't waste any time. He gets buckets.
Yeah, and that's what I like about him. Like that's why I say when people are like who's better, I'm like he's better. I'm taking him over Kyrie every day of the year because he just gets to where he's going. He ain't trying to be on the highlight reel. He ain't trying to shake the man so you can let's go. Like no, he's going to give you 15 buckets, not 8 highlights.
I would really encourage you to read the Lee Jenkins profile that he did on Dame Lillard that came out last week. It was phenomenal, and you're going to learn a few things about Dame Lillard and what he does to kind of make that team more cohesive, about how like he really values friendship and getting to know these guys, that he believes doing that makes them a better team, and how he stepped up his game. So go Lee Jenkins, a gentleman of the NBA, a friend of Complex Sports.
Lee Jenkins is the god.
Go
Lee Jenkins, that just remind me of that old thing back in the day.
Leroy Jenkins. Real quick, in the Eastern Conference, we had the clean sweep of our predictions for the Western Conference. Who do we see coming out of the West and representing in this conference in the NBA Finals? I think I know the answer for everybody involved. Maybe not. Actually.
No, not really. I mean,
you want to kick it off?
Here, I'll let Cap go first, and then we'll swing it to you.
Okay.
Cap, who you?
I'm going to go with the Rockets, maybe just because I'm rooting so heavily for new blood in the finals.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen 3 great matchups between the Warriors and Cavs, but, like, real talk, I'm ready for a different matchup.
Yeah. Cap, Gil, who you thinking?
It all depends on this Warriors Spurs. If Warriors get knocked out by the Spurs because they don't have Curry, then the Rockets are in the championship. If Rockets are in the championship, the Cavs is winning the championship.
That's a conversation for another day.
A little spicy take, yes.
There ain't no spicy take. That's just period. If Golden State is in the championship, Cavs is not winning.
By the way, if you believe in his theory right there, Cavs are an excellent 6.5 to 1 value on the board right now to win it all.
Yeah, and listen.
That's what I said. It depends. It's all the matchup. Like, because Warriors have 3 mega stars in the sense where you got 3 guys who's capable of scoring 40 each night.
That's the only way you beat LeBron.
That's the only way you beat LeBron. So if they're out and it's Warriors and all they have to do is worry about James Harden going off for 40,
I think
I give the edge to Cleveland on that one.
That's a fair point. I think teams have special seasons, and you can tell from the start that something's just different. The Rockets have rattled off 15-plus win streaks, I think, twice this year. So they're my prediction to come out of the Western Conference and represent them in the NBA Finals. But I can't say that they could beat LeBron.
I mean, if Warriors can get past the first round, I don't see how they beat Warriors. There's just too much firepower for them. I mean, you got KD and James. You cancel each other out. You still got Curry and Klay. That's scoring.
That can give you.
That's gonna give you, like, if you shut down KD, that means Klay is rattling off a quick 25 points. Just pop.
So are we hoping more for a Warriors and Thunder matchup in the playoff, or a Warriors and Rockets matchup in the playoffs?
I really wanted Thunder Warriors in the first round, just to really spice things up.
Just to spice it up.
I'm disappointed the fact that the Thunder couldn't hang on to the 7th seed. Why couldn't you lose an extra game?
Very true. Very true.
They couldn't because of Denver.
Yeah. You think it's NBA conspiracy?
No. Someone who holds a tiebreaker said they couldn't tie with certain teams.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me, I was going through it all.
All right, so we're all Cavs Rockets.
Cavs Rockets.
Clean sweep.
I'm Cavs.
You think Cavs are winning it all?
Yeah, I mean, he had the hoodie on earlier this week.
That's right.
Well, that was SoCal Cavs.
That's technically you had a Cavs.
Universe works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, you're right.
Trying to say.
All right, switching gears over to baseball. The Miami Marlins are trying to wiggle out of a lawsuit by claiming foreign citizenship. Seriously. Time for Fair or Foul. Thank you. All right, so this one has, or I need to explain this a little bit because there's kind of a lot of legalese and a lot of bullshit to kind of rake through here. But essentially, the Marlins are claiming that they are have foreign corporate citizenship that's based in the Caribbean, because they're trying to wiggle out of a lawsuit brought forth by the local governments down in Miami. So after Derek Jeter and the partners bought the franchise for $1.2 billion last year, Miami, which owns the Marlins parking facilities, the garages, and Miami-Dade County, which owns the Marlins Park, the spaceship arena that is in the middle of Little Havana in Miami, which doesn't fit the neighborhood at all. They're suing to try to recover the share of the profits from previous owner Jeffrey Lowry, who made a cool $1 billion off what was originally $12 million investment in the Expos back in 1999. So the Marlins are claiming they're corporate citizens of the Caribbean and subject to federal law governing treaties because they want to strip the local judge in the case who has kind of ruled against them and seems to have a bias against them. So it's essentially, yes, trying to claim that you are a citizen of the British Virgin Islands as opposed to an entity that is based in Miami. In the court filing, the Marlins claim that because one of the many corporations that own parts of the Marlins, which is called Marlins Team Co., the company that Jeter and the majority owner Bruce Sherman formed last year to buy the franchise, again, is based in the Virgin Islands, and they therefore should be considered British Virgin Island citizens.
Just to get out of
this lawsuit, or no, not to get out of the lawsuit. The lawsuit's still going forward, but they want a federal judge to rule on this as opposed to the local judges who are trying to obviously get the money back for the local counties. So, guys, they want fair. It's fair or foul here on the Marlins trying to claim foreign citizenship.
Completely foul. The lengths in which teams and corporations, right? They're part of billion-dollar enterprises. They make money hand over fist. For them to try and claim that they're a foreign entity to get out of this situation, to try and find a loophole to not have to pay the city of Miami and Dade County in this lawsuit is crazy to me. So foul.
The fuck does it got to do with sports?
You're not fascinated by the business and all the money dealings that go back and forth?
Listen, I don't give a fuck about fucking a whole bunch of rich people fighting over.
You're a rich person.
Who owns who on a certain team. I thought something happened to fucking Jeter himself. So you're talking about a bunch of people I don't fucking know. No one knows these cocksuckers.
They're gonna get.
No one knows them.
They're gonna get dinged for a ton of money if the federal judge rules against them.
Does that hurt the players? No.
It may hurt.
Will actually.
Hand wave this whole fucking story. Okay? How do we go from great basketball talk to a motherfucker that swiped Miami?
Don't you have any sympathy for the fans?
Somebody swiped Miami out of $1 billion. He don't want to pay his commission.
The taxpayers got swiped out of a shit ton of money because if you forward this over 40 years, for the amount of money that the local government and the taxpayers have to pay for that arena, it's going to be in the $2.4 billion range.
And that's why I live in Orlando. Sorry, Wade. You'll be paying more in taxes.
I don't really have much more to add.
That's Gilbert Arenas right there. That's amazing.
I would encourage you to go read more about this if you want the actual nitty-gritty. It's kind of fucked up, but there you go.
Jeter's been taking a lot of L's with this whole Miami Marlins.
He's been taking nothing but L's.
Investment and just the fact that he's like the face of this ownership group, which I believe he has a very minuscule portion of that he actually bought. Do you think this hurts his legacy? Do we look at him differently?
No, I mean, he buys a team, right? And a guy, instead of paying his commission to the seller like he's supposed to do to the city, he decides, fuck that, I lost on this deal. So they're like, oh, fuck it, we're just going to go after Jeter. Jeter's the big name. So, they're just trying to put the pressure on the wrong people.
I mean, they're trying to get part of the profits from Jeffrey Loria, again, who reaped about $1 billion off of what originally was a $12 million investment, 20 years ago. So Loria apparently hasn't paid any money to the governments, and that's kind of really what they're going after.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I said.
And Loria is one of the worst owners in the history of sports. He's a true piece of shit when it comes to that. So.
And that's what I said. If they can't get it from him, they're going to okay, we're going to get it from you. And you're like,
I ain't got it.
What the fuck I do? I bought the team. What am I paying you for?
There's no love lost with Loria in that community.
That wraps up the latest edition of Out of Bounds. This was a jam-packed show, special show. Gilbert, you just kept it 100 from the jump, so I appreciate it.
I always keep it 100.
Talk your talk. Big news, though. Beginning on Monday, we'll start at 5 a.m. Eastern time. So, of course, we'll diagram everything that took place in NBA playoffs over the weekend, and we'll give you all of our takes. Like you said, we might be the official and true first take.
First take.
It's going to be the first take.
Nice. Okay.
Set your alarm clocks.
And Complex is still killing things because tonight is the premiere of Peter Rosenberg's late night show, open late, beginning at 10 p.m. Eastern time. A$AP Rocky will be one of the guests on tonight's premiere episode.
You an A$AP Rocky fan?
He said,
fucking got a problem.
Well, Adam Caparel, Gilbert Arenas. I'm Peter Simpson. We'll see you on Monday. Remember, we'll see you on Monday at a new time, 5 a.m. Eastern. See you soon. This is Out of Bounds.
What's so funny is I was doing all the rundowns of rookies in the years versus the better players in that draft. And usually the rookie of the year is, besides LeBron, they were older than everyone else.
Yeah.
So when I looked at it, like, by the time this person got this age, so like,
All right.
Like Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
AI was 21,
Yeah.
that year. Kobe's 18.
Yeah.
By the time Kobe hit 21, he was way better than Allen Iverson was.
So you're telling me for next year when I put a future down Rookie of the Year to take someone who's a little bit on the older side of things.
That whole
20,
fucking
like a 20-year-old.
that whole fucking class is 20.